Yahoo listener, you found it. The geekiest show on the internet. This is the Jock and Nerd Podcast. In this episode, we've got some fun audio to share with you at the top of the show. Then we got some crazy geek news to discuss, covering everything from Justice League to Avengers Infinity War, and our review of the second half season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Saturday, February 18th. Let's get it going.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talking, we heard it. We funny, disturbing. We talking, we heard it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah. We talking, we heard it. We funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. I'm talking, we heard it. We spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, what's up, listener? Hello, friend. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And he's the Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs? Good earth to you.
What's up, dudes? How's it going?
It's going very well. We are recording on an unseasonably warm day here in the Midwest in Chicago. Global warming is a thing, people. Don't let anybody tell you the Chinese made it up. Oh, shit.
They definitely made it up.
It should not be 60 degrees plus in February. I'm sorry, in the Midwest. It shouldn't. It's never happened before.
Well, maybe it's happened before, but it's not normal.
It's not normal. So, look, we're going to kind of fly through some stuff, give you guys a show, and try to enjoy this unseasonably weird warm weather before the world just kind of, melts or explodes. Either way, if you are a first-time listener, here's what you're going to get. This is our weekly show where we get together and geek out about superheroes and comic book-related stuff in the movies, on TV, in pop culture. And that's what we got this time. We got a little bit of news, and then we're going to review the first episode of the second half of Season 7 of The Walking Dead. It's a big return to the back half, 7B. Ugh, I hate all these breakdowns of seasons, and it gets confusing. Like, it's just the same season.
Yeah.
Wow, you have to make a big deal out of it. Great episode, though. But before we get there, I want you, if you're a new listener, check out our last show. We had a great conversation, a great interview with cartoonist Greg Schiegel, who's got a new book coming out from Image Comics, a book that he had self-published, and they picked up. It's very exciting. It's called Picks, One Weirdest Weekend. And Greg's got a podcast. He was really awesome. I had a great time geeking out about the making of the comics. Ruggs was on us with that one. Ruggs, what'd you think of the Schiegel? He was fun, right?
He's a good guy. He's a nice dude.
If you are a creator, you definitely want to check that out. Now, if you want to interact with the show, we always shout out our contact page, jockandnerd.com/contact, where there's our Twitter handle, our Facebook page, our Facebook group, a speak pipe, and we have this thing, this old school thing called a voicemail line. Oh, shit. Millennials, I don't know if you know what that is. That thing that you swipe right on, the little black mirror. You can also make phone calls. Did you know that, Anthony? Did you know that?
Make phone calls?
Yeah. You ever make phone calls on that little black square thing you have in your pocket?
No.
No, I didn't think so. So the voicemail line, it's 312-248-HERO. 312-248-4376. Nobody ever uses it, except this morning I get an email. Hey, you got a message in your voicemail.
Whoa.
Yeah, right? So I'm going to share it. Here, let's check it out.
This is Jimmy Jones, and y'all just call. And when I came over here and answered the phone, then there's nothing there. Now, y'all may have fun doing that, but now it irritates and makes a lot of problems in people trying to answer telephones when you call somebody, and then you never talk to them. So I don't care what kind of business or whatever you're in, you need to shape it up.
Talking nerd. Hey, I'll take it. I don't care if it was the wrong number. Jimmy Jones, thanks for listening and calling in.
Is that real?
When they call the voicemail, do they get a message of any kind?
Yes, it says you've called the job. I checked because then I called the number. I was like, I don't even know what the message says. It says, thanks for calling the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Please leave your name and message. So this reminded me of another classic piece of internet audio.
Was that real? Were we
that was real.
Trolled there?
No, I don't know. The guy called. This came into the voicemail line, 312-248-HERO. So he may have just But wouldn't you hit like redial? Like if somebody called you, like how would you?
Maybe somebody got that and they called us with that. Like maybe somebody got that on their voicemail and then they called us with that and put it on our voicemail.
Okay. I don't know. Oh, that's possible. That's really funny. So Jimmy James, I'm going to share another piece of audio, classic internet audio. Ruggs, have you ever heard the Jimmy Dean sausage complaint call?
I might have.
All right, here we go. I'm playing the whole thing. This is hilarious.
Randy Taylor, I don't know where you people come from. I don't know if you test your products, your quantity of your product. Your product's very delicious. Love your sausage for 30-something years, but I can't take and feed a family of 5 on a little 12-ounce roll of sausage. I don't mind paying you more money for your 16-ounce roll of sausage, but you don't have it anymore. You've got a 12-ounce roll, and you got 3 men that weigh over 200 pounds apiece, a woman that's a little plump Scotch girl, and a daughter who's 13, and you're going to try to take a 12-ounce roll of sausage and a couple of dozen eggs and feed that, it ain't going to work. And I'm not going to purchase your product anymore or ever again. And as far as your 16-ounce and maple and sage, I don't eat that. I'm not from the north. I'm a Texas man. Jimmy Dean sausage is for southern people to eat with the breakfast, with the fried eggs and the T-bone steaks. And I can't see going to a little 12-ounce package to feed 4, 5, 6 people. And I'm not going to buy 2 of those 12-ounce packages just because you want to downsize and charge the same goddamn price. I'd sure like a reply, and I'd sure like you to go back to your 16-ounce package on your regular sausage, because I'm not going to buy it otherwise ever again. I'll just have my own damn sausage made like I used to 30-something years ago. It's not as tasty as yours is, but it'll work. Goodbye. That little 12-ounce goddamn roll of sausage is supposed to feed your brother and me and you 600 pounds of men, at least. You get my point? And the 2 girls, and they put it in that fucking pussy roll of sausage. Son of a bitch. Somebody needs their ass kicked. Some little consumer geekaroid fucked this shit up. Save money. Yeah, save money. Save money. Fuck, I'm going to eat, goddammit.
Talking nerd. I love how he says sausage. Jimmy Dean, sausage. I love your sausage. It's a good product.
Southern people, when some people get mad, it's
You don't mess with the Jimmy Dean sausage. That's what we learned. All right, let's get to the news, everybody.
Glad you could waste
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
That's what this is all about, listener.
Jesus
Wasting
Christ.
time with funny Southern
I like
audio.
it that Anthony's pissed off. I would sit through that again.
I know. I'd play that. That's why I knew it was going to piss Anthony off. I played it on purpose. Look, I mentioned our contact page. There's also a link to our group, Facebook group, or you could go there directly. Just visit jockandnerd.com/community. I just want to shout out to John Bellotti. If you join right now, you can see photos from the Toy Fair in New York City. He posted a bunch of really cool photos of this year's Toy Fair. Did you guys see that at all? Anthony, did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. It looks good.
Very exciting. Tons of geek boner.
Geek boner.
What
Everywhere you
if the
go.
toy hunters out there? Remember that guy?
Yeah, that was a great show. There's a good.
I met that guy
Yeah. There's
Yeah?
a-
You met him?
Really?
at a convention. Yeah.
Oh, we saw him when we went to C2E2. Remember a couple years ago?
We did?
He had a booth. He was filming part of
Oh,
the show.
yeah.
Remember?
He wasn't there, though. We just saw his booth.
He wasn't there, but it was in the show. So Toy Fair looks like tons of fun. I'm gonna have to check it out one of these days. There. All right, let's start with some news about the DCEU, our favorite messed up shared universe. I'm gonna start with this rumor that Arnold Schwarzenegger may possibly have a role in Wonder Woman.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
You heard that right. Now, this is coming
What
from...
kind of site is this, though?
This is coming from NME.com. Let's
What
see.
is that?
I don't know what the source is. Reports are suggesting that Arnold Schwarzenegger may be set to return to the DC Comics movie universe by playing a role in the forthcoming Wonder Woman film. Of course, the 38th governor of California last contributed to a DC film when he played supervillain Mr. Freeze.
Lame.
We know how well that went. So the rumor is that Schwarzenegger may be lined up for a small role in Wonder Woman, which will be released in June. While filming finished last month, reports suggest that Schwarzenegger may contribute a voice role possibly for a CGI version of the villain Ares.
Geek boner.
Okay, so maybe he will just be the voice of Ares. Batman News observed that Schwarzenegger was followed on Twitter recently by Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns. So whenever they follow people on Twitter, shit happens. But what do you think about Freeze or Schwarzenegger Arnold as the voice of Ares? If he's just the voice, it could work. Possibly. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I mean,
Would it take you out of the movie?
Unless he like completely change, like Vin Diesel does Groot, but he only has to say "I am Groot," and he doesn't. I mean, it's not. He kind of changes his voice a little bit for it.
Yeah.
And sort of same thing with Bradley Cooper doing Rocket.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger doing like that's going to take me totally out of it. He has to like change his voice.
Well, he doesn't really do voices though.
And he doesn't do voices.
Yeah.
everybody does his voice.
Everybody does his voice.
Speaking of his voice,
yes.
I was just playing Titanfall 2.
Oh, he does he's in
and
that?
there's a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's his voice.
Is it him though?
No, it's got to be like a guy doing him, but like it's like right on point.
And he's doing that video game commercial. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
That's weird. So speaking of his voice and his lines, David Malofsky posted this great image to the Facebook group of Arnold next to a picture of Arnold as Darkseid.
Oh, shit.
And it looks pretty good.
No, it doesn't.
No, he can play the role. So then I was like, okay,
No.
Arnold lines as Darkseid, go. What do you got? You guys have anything? What would he say?
As Darkseid?
Yeah. David Malofsky suggested was Steppenwolf, give the people the air. It's pretty good. But Scott James Meridew nailed it with the first comment. His is get to apocalypse, which I thought that's pretty good. I don't know if you could do better than that.
I'm thinking of something with like Alpha and Omega because he's got the Omega beams. I am the Alpha, but I will show you my Omega beam.
I also had here comes the boom tube.
Oh, that's good.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
That's not. I mean, like, no way.
Look, Arnold may be part of the DCEU in Wonder Woman, though. That could be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
If he changes his voice, I mean, it's cool if he's in it.
He doesn't do
because I think Stallone isn't Stallone in Marvel.
He is in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians. So, yeah, I mean,
he's gonna. Yeah. So
and that's a very recognizable face, but I don't know, we'll see.
So
if he's doing his fucking voice, though, it's going to be kind of cheesy.
I think it's funny. It's like DC they're going, hey, they got Stallone. We should get Arnold to balance it out. It's like a mirror copy of that.
There's some other weird shit that you're going to get to.
Yes. Okay. So moving on, Anthony, we've been saying this for a couple of weeks that if regarding Battfleck, he stepped down from directing. He kind of stepped away from writing. His script got rewritten. It may be rewritten. He's just kind of producing. And you were like, if Wonder Woman and Justice League fail, he's done. He's out. And you know what? I think you were right.
Oh, shit.
Because we have a report from Screen Rant.
It was actually from Collider originally.
From Collider. On the latest episode of Collider Movie Talk, host John Campea stated he has heard from 3 separate sources involved with Warner Brothers over the last 4 days that Affleck is looking to leave the role of Batman.
Oh, shit.
Along with a warning to take what he's heard with a grain of salt. Campea said,
that doesn't. Yeah. That's where I was going to jump in. Is he says take it with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt.
But if you've got 3 independent sources confirming this, why would you take it as a grain of salt?
Right. There's 1. Okay, fine. 2, maybe coincidence. Now 3 different people are saying
that it seems like he's using grain of salt.
Sounds like there's a salt shaker involved.
What about a grain of pepper? Campea said Ben Affleck, make no mistake, he wants out. He doesn't want to be Batman anymore. He went on to say his sources tell him Affleck is in discussions with Warner Brothers to get out of his deal to continue playing the character, which includes the Batman. But if a deal cannot be made in time, the solo film will be the last appearance he makes as the character. So, wow, what a mess. Like, this thing just continues to crumble. Who do you think could replace him?
Wait, before we get into that, if this is true, because it's a rumor, what does that say about what Justice League is going to be like?
Holy crap, yes.
I think that the WB is just a fucked up place.
Like, I have less hopes for Wonder Woman now and Justice League. So Snyder also tweeted out this photo of him at the editing bay recently, and there's the image of Batman fighting parademons. It's kind of blurry. It's not very sharp. It was kind of a cool shot, but the action's never been the problem in these movies. The actions always look great, as we saw in that visual effects reel. That was really cool. Except it was unnecessary to make Superman's cape entirely CGI in every shot. I didn't
Yeah.
like that. That's even in the close-ups where he's just chest up, like make him wear a cape. Why does that have to be CGI? What are you doing? It's just stupid. Anyways, so that movie, there's a lot of pressure now. This all must be a mess. Like, why else is it? And I'll tell you, it continues to crumble once we talk about who maybe could take over the Batman. We'll break some more news. But Screen Rant had a bunch of good names here. I'm just going to shout them out. You guys tell me what you think. How's that go?
Okay.
Carl Urban, Judge Dredd himself.
He's tall. He's getting old, though.
He's tall.
But that's okay.
But I mean,
they want an old
they're
Batman.
playing the older. Yeah, they're playing the older Batman.
Yeah.
Wes Bentley, the kid from American Beauty, who was actually Chris Nolan's first choice as Batman for BVS because he was as producer. He wanted Wes Bentley. That's not a bad pick. The guy's a really good actor.
He's like a small dude.
He is a small dude. Then we got Jason Clarke, Terminator. And where else is he from?
The second
That's
Planet
right.
of the Apes movie.
And he's worked with Matt Reeves.
No, I don't see him.
He's not good looking enough.
He's got the good cowl face. Like if you put the cowl on him, like it would look cool.
But he's not like desirable
He is not that desirable.
as Bruce Wayne.
This next pick is desirable for the ladies, being Colin Farrell. But he could be okay, I guess.
He could be all right.
I don't know.
Eric Bana. What about Eric Bana? What about?
I didn't even know Eric Bana was still around.
Oh, he's still a thing.
Died a long time ago.
Eric Bana's a good size. He can get jacked. He's not a bad actor. Keanu.
No.
They threw out Keanu. That's not a good one. No.
Christ.
No Keanu. Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender.
Magneto.
Maybe.
He'd be a good Bruce Wayne.
He's a good age. He's an incredible actor. This one, John Hamm, who
I could see John Hamm.
looks very much like a Bruce Wayne.
He could probably pull it off, but can he do the Batman stuff?
Can he do the Batman stuff? I think he would have to like really underplay and pull it back in his performance to like be taken serious as Batman. How about old Luke Evans, who is in Beauty and the Beast and it was in that Vampire and Dracula movie? Unknown kind of guy. He could be a good
he's
break.
known.
break.
He was in the Fast and Furious.
Oh, he was in the Fast and Furious.
I'm sure he could. He'd be okay. He's like that's a dark horse.
And then their number one pick on this article was Jake Gyllenhaal. Yay or nay, Jake is the guy that almost got Spider-Man. I think he's been dying maybe to get into a superhero role.
Maybe. I could
He
see
was
Jake.
Prince of Persia.
He was Prince of Persia. They haven't made a good video game movie, so I don't know. I didn't see the movie. So look, if he does leave, I think there's a number of people who would kill to do this. Obviously, it's a great role.
You know what makes me take this rumor seriously is it's coming from Collider. If it was coming from some other shit,
yeah,
I'd be like, eh.
And like you said, the three sources,
three independent sources. That's a lot. It's
more than a
that's
coincidence. I feel.
And I mean, these movies have been pretty shitty.
Yeah, they have yet to have a hit, and the Batman also continues to just have problems. The search is still continuing for a director, believe it or not.
Oh, shit.
Here's the trail of articles. First, there was an article from Screen Rant saying they're looking at Matt Reeves, the guy who did the Dawn of Planet of the Apes and War for Planet of the Apes. They were looking at him to do a multi-picture deal, even kind of saying that he could be the guy that would take over the creative helm and direct future products and the look of the DCEU. And then literally the next day, it might have even been the same day, superhero hype, Batman negotiations with director Matt Reeves reportedly break down.
Lame. I'm telling you, something with that DC is...
That did not last long. Yeah, Hollywood Reporter says negotiations are done. Reeves has exited the talk, though the studio is intent on making the movie no matter what. Now, that also concerns me because that means they're just going to throw together a shitty fucking movie.
What do you think's going on there at WB? They're like, listen, you can direct this movie, but once a week we have to fuck you up the ass.
Yes.
Like, what are they doing? Like, what are they doing that what is in the negotiations that's making these guys go, no, I don't want to do that?
Well, like, if you direct here, this is what happens. Every weekend we come in and we just shift all your storyboards around, and then you have to shoot that now. That's just how it's going to work.
Like, what is the thing that's making people go, no, I don't want to direct this movie and get paid millions of dollars?
I don't know. I mean, to walk away for all these people to walk away from a Batman movie, this is pretty big. Like, what is going on? I don't know, Ruggs. It's crazy.
There's got to be like I remember when I saw that movie about that Superman movie.
Yes, the
About
death of
how
Superman lives. Yes,
How Peter, what's his name? The guy who the guy
John
the
Peters.
Yeah, the hairstylist.
The hairstylist.
That was in charge of that movie.
Yes.
The fucking hairstylist in charge of a movie. All right, that's the first problem.
He went from hairstylist to the stars to running a whole movie studio.
He drove everybody nuts, and he chose Nicolas Cage in a fucking wig.
They must have been so high on coke concepting that movie. I don't know what.
My God.
What?
So, I mean, you can only imagine the fuckery that's going on right now.
So it says prior to Reeves receiving the offer, Ridley Scott and Fede Alvarez were among the names on the short list. This movie's not. It's not getting made.
I
don't hold your breath.
I put some money on this movie not getting made.
Look, it's not just us who think the DCEU is a mess. It's actual respectable people.
It's actually everybody.
Everyone, including people who have been in the movie. Lawrence Fishburne is not going to be in Justice League, and this article says that even he knows Marvel is kicking DC's ass.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Yes. Lawrence Fishburne got a phone call to come out to make an appearance in Justice League as Daily Planet editor Perry White, but he was too busy washing his hair. So this article said. He said it was a scheduling issue. But while chatting with the LA Times, he's confirmed that he won't be in Justice League, and he's expressed his frustration at how DC has been handling its cinematic universe. He says, we've been waiting 35 years for these characters to show up on the screen. What were they doing over there? Marvel has been kicking their ass. This is the comic book geek in me who has a collection of comic books. I've been waiting to see these people on screen forever. And then it says, of course, Fishburne immediately followed it up by praising Justice League director Zack Snyder, who we worked with on Man of Steel and BVS. But he also goes the whole thing with Martha Kent and Martha Wayne. I don't know, man. I must be sentimental, but that's some heartwarming stuff to me. So he likes the Martha thing. But he also praised Jesse Eisenberg. But at the same time, he's like, no, Marvel's kicking your ass. So you won't see Perry White.
They haven't really used Fishburne.
No,
they hired this guy, and he's like barely in any of the movies.
Big name, great actor, and he's in there for like a couple of minutes. So, and to shove him in Justice League where you're going to have all this shit going on, I mean, I don't blame him for not. Be like, you know what? I don't need this 2 minutes of fucking screen time. Because they're not using him.
Yeah, they ain't doing shit, man. There's a lot of issues. I'll say this. I'll defend them in saying that Marvel's had their share of people that have worked with them and bash them too.
Yeah. I mean, you go back to your Ed Nortons.
Ed Norton, you got,
but you don't hear about the embattled process like you
right.
do.
Yeah, right.
Whoever played Whiplash in Iron Man 2 hated on Marvel after.
Oh, what's his name? Rourke. Mickey Rourke?
Mickey Rourke.
He shit on him? Huh.
Mickey Rourke. What's his name? Red Skull shit on him too.
Oh, that guy, Mr. Anderson from
I forget all these fucking guys' names.
Well, Edgar Wright also walked because he's like, you guys clearly aren't making the same movie I was making, so I'm out.
Yeah, I mean,
that was the only one I could think of.
They've had their issues, but they've kind of streamlined all.
And that movie ended up being good.
Yeah,
ended up being good.
They saved that movie because, cooler heads prevailed, but they were smart creatively. Like, it wasn't like one side just completely rubbing the other side the wrong way.
Well, it was also Edgar Wright came up with that concept for that movie in like 2006.
Yeah, he had been working on it for years.
The time that movie was being made, it was 6 years later, and Marvel was in a totally different direction.
It was pre-MCU, so he was just going to make a crazy movie about an ant who turns into a man, or a man turns into an ant, or some fucking weird shit.
That was the rumor. I don't believe that.
I still want to see that version. Look, the decisions at DCEU continue to be just confusing, perplexing, strange, like this next piece of news. Warner Brothers has approached Mel Gibson to direct Suicide Squad's sequel.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck?
How dare you do this to us?
Get
your hand off my penis!
What is going on over there? Why is
this a bad thing? I mean, it's bad for Mel Gibson. It's not bad for fucking Warner Brothers to even have Mel Gibson near their movie. Say what you want about him being anti-Semitic or an asshole or whatever, a woman beater. He can fucking direct movies. He knows how to do that. Every movie that he's made has been good.
The Passion of the Squad.
The Passion of the Squad. Apocalypto is kind of like a superhero crazy movie.
Yeah, this guy's got tremendous balls. He'll do shit that no other director will do, and he'll make it really fucking dramatic and shit. So, I mean, he could pull it off. No problem. I have absolute faith in Mel Gibson to direct a movie. Now, do I like Mel Gibson? Not really, not anymore because he's a dick, and I was kind of shocked at all the crazy shit that he said. But I mean, we have a president that's way worse than Mel Gibson.
That's a good point. So my thing was like, you're right, Ruggs. Like he is a great qualified director. He would kind of fits this edgy Suicide Squad feel, but like. It's so risky. You have to take on the heat of all the shit that he comes with, all his baggage.
I think it's just more out of left field. You never would have thought Mel Gibson would be even interested in a superhero film.
That also. I mean, here's a guy who made, Passion of the Christ was good, but it's like a torture movie, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, but who would make that movie?
Holy shit, nobody.
No one
the
else.
balls you have to make that movie, parts of that movie are hard to watch. They're so fucking
I can
graphic.
never watch it a second time.
No, dude, that is a straight up torture.
I never watched it because I heard how awful it was in terms of
It was torturous. Yes.
But now I've never actually seen Apocalypto.
That's great.
Yeah, the visuals look great. So and he's a good director, and he's fucking Riggs,
He's Riggs.
Riggs. Wow. So okay, I mean, it's kind of like a good move, bad move, I guess. There at this point,
I recognize the guy's talent. He's talented.
As desperate they must be, just fucking get just fucking throw it out to anybody.
I'll just say that we all thought David Ayer was talented, and then they put him on Suicide Squad. And either his talent was neutered or he wasn't that talented.
Yeah, but
one of the two.
I think it was neutered.
Mel Gibson will fucking take a chainsaw to these guys.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it. Mel Gibson would not put up with their shit.
No.
Who knows?
He is not gonna fucking put up with any of this meddling around, and otherwise he'll just walk and it'll just start over.
You gotta play some of that audio of him on the phone. Like,
oh my god, that is the best audio. I should have had that queued up.
Yeah.
Instead, we had Jimmy Dean's sausages. Oh, yeah. Great product. So here's what's still coming out by DC in 2018. Here's the final count. Like, so much now is resting on this Wonder Woman Justice League this year. The Flash, originally planned, announced all the way back in October 2014, first anticipated to be released in 2018 March. It's not coming out in 2018. We've talked about they've gone through 3 directors. They're looking at a page 1 rewrite. It's crazy. The Batman, now obviously delayed. They wanted to make this movie in 2018. It may not even come out in 2019. The way this shit is progressing, you're looking at, again, another director, possibly another lead, another whole script rewrite. Aquaman, it says here, is on track. And ironically enough, this movie had one of the rockier starts. I guess Warner Brothers initially commissioned 2 different writers to write 2 different scripts, with a better one having been chosen to proceed with. And so that is the only thing right now that's confirmed coming out for DC next year, 2018, is Aquaman. So that's all we got. So it's going to slow down unless they can fucking figure some shit out.
Well, this all depends on how Wonder Woman performs, because that's going to...
In Justice League, yeah.
I would much rather see these movies come out in a delay and be good than just throw movies out because you need 3 movies in 2018.
DCEU does not need to put 3. They don't even need to put 2 movies out a year. Give me 1 good movie a year.
How about just put out a good movie?
Let's give us 1 hit. Let's start there. You will slowly earn all of our trust back if you take your time. Okay, let's move.
And looking back, just real quick, looking back, Man of Steel is like their best movie.
Yeah.
And that movie wasn't great.
Wow.
Give me Man of Steel level at this point.
At least try to go back to that, because they've just been sliding the other way.
When you look back at Man of Steel is their best movie.
That's really bad. Yeah, you're like,
comparison these last
you know what? The emo Superman is not so bad in this Man of Steel. At least he has lines. He talks a little bit. Wow, that's saying a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some Marvel movie news. We're going to start with Fox. Of course, Logan is coming out March 3rd, 2 weeks. Very excited. Couldn't be more
Geek boner
for that. And early spoiler-free reviews have started to hit the internet. I skimmed a few. I didn't want to ruin it, but, dude, they're all positive. They are all saying really good things, and I can't wait. I haven't seen anything bad about this movie. Have you guys seen any of these reviews yet?
I am not reading the reviews, but
I'm staying away too.
But going off of the Wolverine,
yes,
from Mangold,
yes,
Mangold.
The Mangold.
The Mangold and the Wolverine.
It's like his name was Goldman, but he just wanted to switch it the other way.
They got to Ellis Island. They switched.
Yes.
We got too many Goldmans.
You're now Mangold.
You are now Mangles. Okay, let him in.
All right. So the last movie he did, Wolverine, was actually decent until the end. So,
Right. The first 2/3 are really good. This movie.
I mean, even the end is okay. If you put it all in context, it's fine.
But you could see it was kind of taken away from the Mangold at the end, and he kind of caved to like, oh, put this giant samurai, make it a comic book movie, from the studio-ish. Probably.
Yeah, it didn't really fit that whole big cyborg shit.
No, it didn't.
But you know what? I think he's got talent, this director, so hopefully he's going to pull it off. And I know that Jackman's going to give it his all, and we're going to be introduced to the X... whatever.
X-23, I heard. I mean,
X-23.
yeah, I heard everything. Like, the girl is great. Just positive things. A different tone. Kind of like this is a Western movie.
It's like whenever you have like a little girl that like in Kick-Ass that can just fucking wreak havoc, it's great.
Yeah, how can you not like that? And apparently she is like incredible in this movie. So, man,
do yourself a favor, Imran.
Yeah.
Stop reading reviews.
No, I skimmed one. I see the headlines and I can't read it anymore. I read one from Den of Geek and I was like, oh man, this sounds amazing. Now I will share this one piece of news about Logan, and possibly there may be they have added a secret post-credit scene. So James Mangold, Hugh Jackman, and Ryan Reynolds in December shot down a rumor that Deadpool would have a cameo in Logan, maybe in a post-credit scene. But on Friday, Alamo's Drafthouse Mike Sampson revealed Fox had updated the film's runtime, so the cut released next month in theaters will be 3 minutes longer than the on-screened earlier this week for critics.
Oh, shit.
So the movies the critics just saw and reviewed, they added 3 minutes to the movie.
Marvel's done that too. That's
Yes.
not a surprise.
Yeah, so there was no post-credit scene in the critics' version. So this was at 135 minutes. They moved it up to 140.34 minutes, which I would love this to be a scene where this is where he's passing it on. It could be giving X-23, she's older, she's the new Wolverine. This has to be the passing the torch scene or set up what's next. I'm really
Why are you speculating that when you just said that Ryan Reynolds was on set?
So could it still be the Deadpool scene?
That's just what you kind of hinted at with Ryan Reynolds. I would say that maybe it's the Ryan Reynolds thing, which
I would be inclined to think it was Ryan Reynolds.
Really?
Right.
Oh,
man. Why would all that stuff come out?
I guess I didn't want it to be the Ryan Reynolds thing because
I don't necessarily want it to be the Ryan Reynolds thing.
It's an X-Force tease.
That's interesting because to put Deadpool in this movie, like the tone is so different. But yeah, it would be weird. But
I don't have as much of a problem with it if it's a post-cred scene, but it still would be kind of weird, especially if the tone is the same as what we've seen on in the trailers.
Well, they need to do that, and they need to set up the next Wolverine.
I mean, maybe it would be like the fucking X-23 standing in there, and Deadpool pops on there, like, dude, you're a crazy bitch.
Oh, that would be awesome. that would be fun. Yeah, so stick around for a post-credit scene. Of course, now they're taking a page from the Marvel. The Fox is. The next thing I want to talk about real quick is, Joss Whedon did Avengers 1 and 2. He really hasn't done a lot with the MCU lately, but he's officially come out and said, I am done with the MCU. He's made a complete clean break, so I just wanted us to discuss his contributions and what he actually did by giving us that first Avengers movie. And what do you guys think was the biggest thing Joss Whedon added to the Avengers?
Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, the first Avengers movie, you'd already said it, that movie looking prior, now in hindsight, it's, oh my God, that was a no-brainer, a fucking Avengers movie. But to actually pull that off and give each character some mostly equal time, except Hawkeye. Sorry, Hawkeye. That was huge. That movie was the culmination of a lot of fucking comic book fans' wet dreams. That was it.
Yeah, he pulled in his charm.
He pulled it off.
Dialogue.
Now everyone's thinks it's a given that you can just make these superhero team ups and they're going to be awesome. But it wasn't when that movie came out.
Think about how he set the template for superhero team movies. For the foreseeable future. And it's awesome. And he also mentions he's been frank with his issues with Avengers: Age of Ultron. He butted heads. clearly.
I'll tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
The one shot when they are finally when it's the camera doesn't cut and it's the whole
That's
team
the money
teaming
shot.
up. That's
Yeah.
the money shot. And he fucking nailed it.
Yeah. Ruggs,
So-
what do you like about the Whedon?
Oh, I love Joss Whedon even before he did anything from Marvel. You know, I used to love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I liked Firefly. I liked Serenity. So I like his movies, and all of those movies have that one thing. It's an ensemble movie. It was ensemble shows. It's not just the one lead actor that's so important. Everybody plays their part, and that's what he did with Avengers. He made everybody part of a machine. Everybody was important, you know, and he was able to handle like these big personalities that were different, and you know, make it fun, but still have a little bit of drama and seriousness involved. And he set the Marvel tone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we had the Spider-Man movies out before the Avengers. We had Iron Man, you know, which was, what's his name? Favreau, who directed it, and he did a really good job with that. And I think Whedon just took that kind of feel and then kind of spread it out to all these other heroes, and they were able to carry that on to their own movies in a lot of ways.
I mean, that's the driving force between like the whole phase 1, phase 2. What he's left us, the framework is amazing. A perfect guy to do it. So,
Like, Avengers begot Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that was like the natural progression. Another team movie that has a great team dynamic. And that wouldn't have happened without Avengers, I don't think.
And you can also somewhat give credit to Joss Whedon for, now maybe this will fail for other studios, but you can kind of credit him for all these other studios wanting to do the shared universe thing.
yeah.
Because if Avengers fails, none of this is happening. There's no DCEU. There's no fucking King Kong crossing over with Godzilla or the old Universal monsters. None of this is happening.
He started an amazing chain of events, a great shared universe. You know, Joss Whedon's contributions were so awesome. And like now they've handed it off. And another good transition from creator to the Russo brothers, who are kicking ass with, Winter Soldier and Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. Speaking of which, have you guys seen this fucking production day one Avengers Infinity War video? This was the most geek boner thing I've seen from Marvel in terms of these behind. It's a trailer for them starting production. There's so much good shit in here. Listener, I'm sure you've seen it. There'll be a link in the show notes. But it starts out showing the Infinity Stones and the ones that we know. And you see the little bit of an alien set. You see Tony Stark, Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, Chris Pratt just standing around. Oh my God. I love so many things about this. Ruggs, what'd you think about this video?
Oh, I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it. You dumb shit.
Awesome.
It's really good. Anthony.
I watch it now.
He's spoiled with the
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, it's a hype video, and seeing them three together is gets you fucking jacked about it. And then later on, what's his face?
Kevin
Feige then confirmed, he's like, yes, the Guardians will meet the Avengers, and there's a shot of production art with Rocket Raccoon and Thor together.
Yeah,
So,
there's a bunch of cool concepts.
It's very exciting.
And you got the Russo brothers talking about Thanos and his role. And he's like, this is going to be mind blowing. We've never done anything like this. It's the biggest thing. Oh, it's a great video. And it, day one on the set, they're all there. It's fucking badass. Guardians will beat the Avengers. So also it came out, I got an article from Cinema Blend talking about Thanos' main goal in Infinity War. And it's kind of noteworthy in terms of the comic book, The Infinity War. So the, what's his name? Stephen McFeely, one of the writers of Infinity War, he elaborated on Thanos' Endgame. He said,
Stephen McFeely? Oh, yeah. And then Christopher Marcus.
Marcus and McFeely, the team of Marcus and McFeely. McFeely said, Thanos' goal is to rebalance the universe as he sees it. So when he figures out that the Infinity Stones could do this for him in the snap of a finger, that becomes his main goal. So that snap of his finger line is important because in the comic books, there's a famous scene with Thanos with the gauntlet on, his hand is up, and he snaps his finger. And in that moment, he literally kills half of the population of the universe wipes them from existence with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Whoa.
If this is where the end of Avengers 4 is going, this could be
it'd be Avengers 3.
or Avengers 3 heading into 4. This could be the wave between Phase 3 and Phase 4. They could recast a lot of people who are maybe reaching the end of their contract. What do you think?
Well, he snaps his fingers, but then Adam Warlock comes around and kind of resets everything.
We could meet the Adam Warlock in the Guardians in one of these movies.
There's also a great scene in the Infinity War book where Thanos has basically destroyed everybody, and it's Cap.
Yeah.
Like comes up to him and is like, as long as one person keeps standing up against you or something along those lines, you'll never win.
That's funny. Greg Schiegel had mentioned that same moment in our last episode.
Yeah, he did bring that up.
Yeah, he totally brought up that same exact moment. So I mean, I like the stakes for what's going to happen at the end of this movie. But I think like you could, if Downey's contract's over, if you want to introduce like more of the new younger characters from the books in, this is a way to do that, I guess.
It's possible.
It's risky.
I mean, they're gonna, regardless. I mean, this movie's probably gonna make a shit ton of money. Probably might be good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is a huge undertaking with all these characters, but regardless of any of that, they're gonna want to continue making these movies.
Oh, absolutely.
So where are they gonna go though after this Thanos thing? Where can they go? That's gonna be as big.
I think you got to start smaller again.
Go back. Maybe.
And then build up to something else bigger. Like starts with small characters again.
Well, you know what's great? They also in that production video they do talk about where the team is now. You know, there's no Avengers. Everyone is separate. It's all kind of broken apart. So to see that rebuild,
you see they're plotting and they're like, what's the best way to bring in this big bad villain? Bring them in when they're all fucking. Not together anymore.
Yep, and that's
great, and that's why we made Civil War. I'm like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense.
It totally makes sense. You see, they're planning, and they're it's so good because then now you just bring a big unifying force. Everyone gets together. It's gonna be so good. Okay, let's move on to some other franchisee genre movies. Also, speaking of post-credit scenes, Kong Skull Island will have a post-credit scene. We don't know what it is, but Kelvin Chavez of Splash Report said there's a little something that fans may not know about yet. He tweeted, Kong fans, make sure your butts stay on your seats for an awesome, awesome after-credit scene from Kong Skull Island. It will not disappoint. Again, every movie's got to take a nod from Marvel. Look, and maybe this is a thing. You think Joss Whedon started this too? The post-credit scene? Was this his contribution?
Iron Man. John Favreau.
Oh, that's Fury. Right. It might have even been like Kevin Feige's idea, maybe from the beginning to run it through. But I've seen more commercials. Have you seen some of the newer commercials where there's
I'm hyped, man.
way more action of the monsters fighting? Holy shit, it looks amazing.
Oh, yeah, there's that one scene where I wish I didn't see it.
I know,
so mad.
I know.
I saw it where he comes at the dude with a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then clocks him in the face.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wish I would have never have seen this until I saw the movie.
I know. These commercials are giving away a lot, and I'm trying
Ruining
to avoid
it.
I saw that scene, too, and I immediately thought of when Godzilla sneaks up on the Muto and just blows breath down his face. And then I thought of Cinema Sins and how the fuck are these monsters sneaking up on anybody? But it was a great scene. One thing that's kind of bothering me about this crossover is that they list King Kong as 100 feet tall in this movie.
Yeah.
But Godzilla in Godzilla was 300 feet
Yes.
tall. So is he going to grow 200 feet in 20 years or 30 years?
He's just going to punch Godzilla in the ball.
He's just a ball puncher.
That's the other thing.
Bite him in the shins.
Low blowing Godzilla.
Maybe that'll be explained in the post-credit scene.
Well, they say that he's young in this movie.
Okay.
Still got room to grow, and it's the 70s, so
70s,
you got like, some 20 years of growth to happen.
Speaking of Godzilla, we have a look at Toho's design.
No, it's not.
No?
This
is debunked. So I put this in for you Godzilla fans. Is this Toho's next Godzilla design? There's some art that was rumored to be from the forthcoming animated Godzilla that's going to come out from Toho. We don't know anything about the story, but it was announced that it'll be the first anime feature film starring the big Godzilla, simply titled Godzilla. So is this an old image? What is this, Ruggs?
No, people were talking in the Godzilla community about it, and I think it's been debunked.
Well,
I'm pretty sure it's been debunked.
Describe this picture. Do you like it?
Did I see it? Is it the one where Godzilla's got veins coming out?
Yes, he's kind of like see-through, and there's long, scaly things in the back.
I mean, it's cool and everything, but I wouldn't go that route. But I mean, it's different. But I like it better than Shin in a way. It's more beautiful to look at. It's more awe-inspiring. But let me give you a little inside info. The Polygon Pictures is an animation company, and they mostly do this animation that is actually 3D animation disguised as 2D. It's the cell-shaded 2D.
Shading, yeah.
So they did anything on Netflix you can get it is Sidonia, the Knights of Sidonia, or whatever it's cell-shaded animation, and they've done something called Agin, which is also cell-shaded animation.
Okay.
So Godzilla is going to be cell-shaded. He's going to be a 3D Godzilla, but it's going to be cell-shaded. So it's going to be very interesting looking. It's going to probably have as much kind of weight and ferocity as the on-screen, the movie ones, of the actual live-action ones that we do in CG. So it's going to be comparable.
Yeah, just kidding. There's an update to the story, and it says there's indeed independent fan art from a fan. It's a cool piece of art, though. I do like this illustration. It's weird. He's like see-through, and there's like a glowing thing in his.
I don't like
chest. You don't like it?
I think he looks like he has a giant Christmas trees on his back.
The tree, the scaling on his back are huge.
Yeah.
Do you like the Shin Godzilla better, Anthony, than this version?
No, I don't like either. I mean, I actually like Rugboy. I kind of like this one better than Shin, which tells you what I think about Shin.
Yikes!
Yeah.
All right,
but another thing that I wanted. Damn, I forgot what I was going to say. You guys started talking.
That happens.
Okay, Imran.
It happens.
Yeah, Imran can't talk or can't not be silent.
No, I was just going to say that this movie is probably going to be in a different timeline as well, because all the artwork that we've seen is like a post-apocalyptic world or far in the future or another planet. It's like not current times because they're in spaceships. There's people in like space suits and stuff like that. So we don't really know. There's like overgrown jungles. There's no signs of any buildings or anything like that. So it's going to be a completely different kind of Godzilla movie than we used to see.
That's cool. I like it. It's setting itself apart from even the Shin Godzilla. It already sounds a little more interesting, more things happening.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's animated, so you can just get fucking crazier. I wanted to share this next thing was pretty cool. We have a lot of listeners that are creators, that are writers, that are comic book artists. If you want to learn storytelling from the masters, being Pixar Animation Studios, you can now take an online course for free from Pixar for storytelling. They've launched the first of 6 free online lessons covering the art of storytelling, led by Pete Docter, Mark Andrews, and other filmmakers. I think this is amazing. It's online from Khan Academy, and what an incredible resource to like get it straight from Pixar, and they're not charging for it. It's great.
It's pretty cool,
right? Art of storytelling. So all you independent creators, learn the Pixar storytelling. They obviously know what they're doing.
Yes, they do.
And then finally, in comic books, we all know Ruggs is a huge Dan Slott fan.
Lame. Number one fan,
Dan Slott. And look, even I've started to agree that, this grown-up Peter who is running a corporation and has learned several languages, and he's got all these tech devices, and it's kind of like Batman meets Tony Stark meets Peter Parker. I miss the old Peter Parker. Well, we talked about this a little bit last episode, but here's the full release from Cosmic Book News. Marvel Comics is relaunching Spectacular Spider-Man and taking the character back to how comic fans know Peter Parker best. A return to the wall crawlers early, down on his luck days. And they're even using the old school title, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. It's going to be written by Chip Zdarsky and drawn by Adam Kubert, which that's a phenomenal team.
Whoa.
Phenomenal team. It will kick off with Free Comic Book Day story before officially launching in June. This is what Zdarsky had to say about what he wants to do. The main book, Amazing Spider-Man, has kept things fresh by stretching the character and his situation. It's still classic Spider-Man at its core, but transposed into new settings. With this book, we're using the same Spider-Man in continuity, but shifting the spotlight back to his New York City environment and supporting cast. But even though we're pushing it to make it more personal book, We're still going to have to have big adventures with ramifications that'll be felt in his other books. If I had a true mission statement for the title, though, it would be have fun, have heart, have stakes. My personal mission statement going into the book is, with great power comes something, something. I don't know. I've never had power before. He says he's misunderstood and underestimated either as Pete or Spider-Man. He's the mascot for New York City. And like a sports mascot, that means he's beloved by children and endured by adults. He's the only street-level superhero who could beat a Herald of Galactus in a fight. He feels things stronger than any other hero and covers that up with jokes. He's Spider-Man. I love everything he said about this series and bringing back Peter. Ruggs, does this make you a little more excited? Would you pick this up?
I don't know. I mean, I'm curious about it. It doesn't really sound. They didn't really say that they were going to keep Spider-Man the number one priority, though. They made it seem like, we're still going to go on big crazy adventures. So if they're going to keep diluting the Spider-Man brand by making every Tom, Dick, and Harry a Spider-Man, then I'm not interested. Marvel's not going to kill off all those characters or make them all go away until they're all like gone, and Spider-Man's the only one that, or one of the only maybe like of 4 or 5 maximum.
Yeah.
Spider people or spider-like people. Then I'm never really going to go back to it. I think they've poisoned the water for me.
Listen, amazing. Dan Slott has Spider-Man all over the world, in outer space, in just craziness. I like that he said we're going back to his New York City roots. Anthony, do you like this? The direction of this book?
I don't care.
Well,
I doesn't have no care for this whatsoever. I linked something though that you guys should look at. The Marvel Generations thing that they're coming out with this summer. Take a look at that. It's drawn by Alex Ross, the image.
Wow, that's a great image.
I think it's really cool. I don't know if the storyline is going to be at all worth reading, but just that image alone, I mean, that's awesome. Basically, the image is all the old Marvel characters and then their new version of themselves with them.
Wow, it just says Generations coming summer 2017, and there's
Alex Ross art.
No other information, but this illustration is gorgeous. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And what they pointed out was all the new versions of these characters.
Yeah.
So they've got on there, I think that's Phoenix on the left.
Right, and then you got Jean Grey behind it.
Female Thor, Falcon, Falcon, Captain America, Nova,
Miss
Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan, Girl Hawkeye, who I don't know who that is, Riri Williams.
Yeah.
All right.
Miles Morales.
And then Amadeus Cho. No white male.
Oh yeah, that's great. The new generation is very diverse. And then right behind Alex Ross has painted all the classic versions of the same characters
garb.
In their classic costumes. This is a really beautiful illustration. I'll put this in the show notes. This is interesting. So they finished up Civil War 2 finally, and it kind of was like, the ending was like, okay, because the problem was we already knew that Tony Stark was going to get taken out because they delayed the book so long. The new title started with a different Iron Man, and so when you get to the point where Captain Marvel almost kills Tony Stark at the end, spoiler alert, by the way.
Spoiler alert.
It's all right. It's anticlimactic, and then they're doing like a Secret Empire thing where like Cap is Hydra
there's
now.
like 3 crossover events before this. So there's like Secret Empire, X-Men versus Unhuman. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to go on.
Yeah,
but I know we were hating on Marvel not being creative and making their own new characters, but this legacy thing kind of is cool.
They're doing it.
I'll give them a little credit. At least with Alex Ross drawing. Maybe it's just because Alex Ross drew a beautiful image for this, but I think it looks kind of cool.
Look, we always talk about how, instead
and DC's always had the legacy thing going.
Yeah, they have the legacy thing. This is a great way. I like this diversity strategy. We kind of harped on them and be like, oh, they just keep, they're forcing it down our throats. But look, they have their legacy characters who, like we said, they happen to be white because they were created by white guys in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s. This new generation, like you said, there's not a white dude among them. That's really cool. It's really exciting. And the one picture says it all right there. Like the whole past and the future of Marvel. It's gorgeous. They're launching X-Men Blue and Gold. I can't wait for Generations. I would actually check this out.
The poster. This is great.
And I'm excited for Spider-Man coming back to the streets. All right. Well,
back to the streets.
Back to the streets with you, Spidey.
We're taking it to the streets. That's like a bad third movie in like a Fast and Furious.
Gentlemen, This is Democracy Manifest.
That's right. Riot in the streets, people. Start the
Or
protest.
I think that was like the tagline for like the 6th Leprechaun movie. Taking it to the streets.
That's right. Was that the hip-hop one?
There was one where, yeah, he was in the streets.
He starts breakdancing.
Oh, that's the best one. That's the best Leprechaun movie ever. All right, that's it for the news segment, everybody. I'm going to play some promos of some fun podcast, independent podcasts. Support the independent creator.
No, fuck those guys.
Okay, or fuck them.
I'm just kidding.
Make it go in one ear, out the other.
Do I pee at this point now?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, my name is Paul, and I'm not an animal expert.
I'm Donna, and I'm not an animal expert either.
And together we do a podcast about animals called Varmints.
Every week, we pick an animal, do a bunch of research on it, and bring you some interesting facts about that animal.
But we don't stop there. We talk about that animal in movies, TV, and other pop culture.
And we talk about whether or not the animal would make a tasty dish, and how intelligent we think that animal is on a scale of 1 to 10.
It's exactly like one of those fancy PBS nature documentaries.
Except not at all like that really in any way.
We're on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from, and we're at blazingcariboustudios.com.
Trivia Geeks, the unpredictable game show podcast, is back with a brand new season. They've got a new host, new games, and a new day and time. But that's not all. Now you can download their companion app, Triv Now, and play along in real time. Watch Carrie on YouTube as she tries to convince her partner that his Dark Knight hasn't risen in years. Listen on Diamond Club and Alpha Geek Radio, Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can also follow the show on Facebook and Twitter and get all the latest updates and showtimes.
In an age of steam and gears, of monstrous machines and greedy corporations, in a world of automatons and dirigibles and faster-than-sound sky trains, in a time out of time where the Americas weathered multiple civil wars, where armies continue to watch from the brink of the next conflict. It is a reality where witches and ghouls live among thinking machines and walking machines that resemble humans. It's a role-playing game. It's a dramatic radio adventure. It's a comedy. It's the Steamrollers Adventure Podcast, available on iTunes or at rigstories.com. The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Listener, if you like what you hear, we've made you chuckle, you want to hear some more, there's more geeky audio to be had over at our fan club. Just join our fan club at jockandnerd.com/Patreon. And for a low monthly donation, $1 a month gets you access to a private RSS feed that you have the exclusive Jock and Nerd bonus audio podcast. There's like 7-8 hours of bonus shit. There's post-show from our Greg Schiegel conversation where we geeked out about Saturday Night Live. He's a big comedy nerd, and we talked about SNL sketches. It was lots of fun.
Yep. Good times.
Good times.
Check out the bonus stuff is awesome. Check it out.
The bonus shit sometimes is funnier than what's on the show. Sometimes it just happens. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Help us out. Help us. Help you. Stay geeky. We're going to talk about The Walking Dead, so I got to do this.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Walking Dead finally back for the second half of season 7. Back half of season 7. Now, this episode was called, it's episode 9, The Rock and the Road, but quickly to recap, the first half, boy, was it kind of laborious and hard to get through. Quick review on the first half, guys, right? We were not happy.
First half of this season?
Yeah.
Yeah, not happy overall.
Yeah, it was a chore.
It was a chore. We stayed in one place for long times. Everyone was split up. The story barely seemed to move along. Now, this episode,
oh shit.
Quite an improvement. I gotta say, quite an improvement in terms
Improvement?
Yes, improvement. What did I say? Unprovement?
I don't know. You were like, quite improvement.
Quite improvement. It's improvement. Obvi. Improvement. No, I thought from the pacing to the action scene to the characters to some of the decisions back to old school Walking Dead that we loved because the group is back together. we got to see multiple locations. They were at the Hilltop. They were at the Kingdom. They were at Alexandria. And then a highway location with an incredible goddamn action scene. What'd you guys think overall? Do you agree? Is this where we wanted it coming back?
I have to agree with you for the most part. I couldn't put my finger on what I liked about this episode, but I think it's the fact that we saw multiple locations and that they were moving
Yes.
a little bit.
Yes.
They just kind of kept it moving. So I like that, and I like that we're not under this cloud of negativity. Like, there's hope. So I like that. The only thing I have to point out, I didn't notice this until after. Actually, I noticed it during the episode, and then reading a review, I was like, that was kind of weird. Is what's his face? Daryl had some awful fucking lines. Like when he goes to the guy at the Hilltop, he's like, "You're speaking out of both sides of your mouth." And the guy wasn't speaking out of both sides of his mouth. He was
like, what?
He was totally being a pussy the entire time. What are you talking about? And then like when he goes, you don't look like a king or whatever. You're not acting like a king. Actually, he is acting like a king because he's trying to protect his people. So
that's a good
Daryl
point.
had some awful lines. But other than that, I enjoyed the episode.
And then they left him there. So it was a weird Daryl episode.
It was like they were like, Daryl, we got to give Daryl some tough guy lines.
Yeah.
Let's have him say some tough shit. Except it doesn't make any sense.
Just throw this in. Yeah.
I felt that whole Ezekiel scene was just so weird. It was so like I was like squirming a little bit, like I don't know if I'm uneasy about this.
Are you talking about like that they just accept that he's acting like a king?
Yeah, or this. It was just weird. Whenever you put like Andrew Lincoln or any of those guys like in with that guy, it just seems like, okay, when's this guy gonna fucking drop the act and like give us his real voice?
I love Ezekiel. I love his over the top lines and dialogue, and I love how
Imran and I enjoy the
it's fun,
the comedy aspect of it.
He's like, I will give my decree in the morn. Rick Grimes of Alexandria, welcome. Yeah. What can I do for you?
It's kind of like if Rick Grimes showed up and like they talked to Rugboy. They're like, all right, there's a puppet there.
But I love the look on their face. Look, here's the thing. Look at it from their point of view. They're like, okay, this thing is called the Kingdom. We're going to see the king. And of course they're skeptical, but then there's a fucking tiger right there. I think that distracts you enough to be like, oh shit, this guy ain't fucking around. And I love the job that he's doing. It was great. And how
then
great
you got
is
his like jester next to him.
Jerry is the best. I love Jerry so much. He's so funny. I want more Jerry.
Well, I didn't even notice Jerry, so that was that. But
we got to see everyone though. Like we saw a little bit of Carol and Morgan. I thought was interesting in the sense that he was kind of all in. He killed a dude, but even what that line he said that when Ezekiel was like asking everybody's advice and his guard, the main guard is like, we should do this. This is great. And he's like, Morgan, what say you? And Morgan's like, yeah, maybe we should capture him. Maybe we should. I think that may be what actually happens is they're going to end up capturing Negan and not kill him.
Morgan had the most logical line.
He kind of did.
They still don't have enough people.
Yes, everyone. So they go to Gregory, and Gregory's hilarious because he's like, all right, Ricky, I got nothing. Why don't you walk out the back? Make sure nobody sees you. This guy's such a dick. He's doing such a great job. And then Ezekiel, in the morning, he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm not helping out either. Sorry. And they're like, fuck it. We'll do it ourselves. And that brings us to that fucking highway scene. Probably one of the greatest tense, like, Walking Dead zombie massacre scenes I've seen on the show in a long time. I loved everything about the fucking rope slicing in half and the whole thing of them getting the dynamite. It was very tense. It was very like 70s thriller type of fucking action. It was great.
And Rosita was very bouncy in that episode.
Rosita's looking pretty good in this episode, I gotta say.
I'll say that I like the scene for different reasons. I didn't think it was all that tense. I actually thought it was kind of goofy with how fast the walkers suddenly came up.
Well, that was weird.
They were like about at least a mile away.
And then the next
and then
shot,
they showed up
right
on
there.
Them, like, nowhere. But I liked it because it was so fucking goofy with the wires happening to be strung across two cars and them just mowing them down like that. I thought it was just so goofy and out there that I was like, okay, this is pretty entertaining.
Yes.
Oh shit!
I was like, fuck yeah,
something new at least.
Yes. It's something you hadn't seen before. And
I was more enjoying the kind of the cheese ball aspect of this episode.
Yeah, there was some definite cheese ball stuff,
but it worked. It was like refreshing in a weird way because everything had been so like torture porny. Yeah,
when the last half of the season is so serious and steeped in just like moving at a snail's pace. Like anything is better by proxy. Like anything that contrasts that is going to be way more enjoyable to watch than guys just sitting there crying and not knowing what to do. I'm like, God, you fucking pussy, Rick. Get your shit together.
But I did watch it with my roommates, and my roommate at one point had to say, like, when Rick gets out of the car, is surrounded by all those fucking zombies, and just pushes them all off and gets into the other car, my roommate goes, no fucking way. No fucking way that guy doesn't get bit.
Lame.
That was a little bit weird editing and setup.
Like he's in the other car way across.
I was like, he's surrounded. Yeah, so
surrounded with no fucking weapon.
Apparently, like that scene they kind of made up that day. It wasn't in the script. Like the Greg Nicotero had talked about it, how they were like, you know what, let's just drive this rope into, and then they did all these, it was on Talking Dead, they'd done all these animatics and storyboards and kind of came up with this whole thing that wasn't in the script. But
remember when well, go ahead.
No, it was just that part was weird after the fact. I was like,
yeah, that was a little weird.
He would have been done right there.
Remember when the zombies were like super strong too? Like in the second season, remember what's that guy with the floppy hat that died?
Floppy hat guy? Oh, Dale.
Dale.
Yeah.
Remember, he doesn't even get bit. He's on the ground, and the zombie rips open his stomach with his bare hands.
They used to rip open your stomach.
Right. They used to be able to just rip you open.
But they're older, more decayed. Maybe these are more decayed.
Well, they would just dig their nails in and rip you open. Like, and now Rick's pushing off hordes of zombies with no weapons.
It was a little convenient to get them all back together.
I mean, I'm willing to accept it just because I know that they haven't been consistent at all with how the zombie strength or what the zombies are like at all.
They could have just shot it differently.
Yeah.
It
was a little weird way they shot it. But then I love the little dynamite punchline where Rosita knows her dynamite. She's like, I don't like that one. And then the fucking thing goes off and blows him up. That was awesome. What do we think about Gabriel? What's his deal? In the beginning, you see him take all their shit, their food and their knives, and drive away. And then you see a shadow in the back come up. There's someone in the car. Do you think, is this a strategy or is this a coward move? What is he doing?
I don't know exactly.
No theories?
No. I feel like that the person is from the other camp, the one with all the girls that followed, what's her name back?
Well, that's at the very end, they get surrounded by this new group who have weapons. And I don't think that's Oceanside because there's dudes there. Oceanside has.
And there was definitely dudes there, but there was a lot of chicks there.
There was a lot of chicks there, and there was dudes. So I was like, is this Oceanside? And I think this was the girl that was watching Gabriel in the first half.
It's weird. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is it being a bargaining chip to get these people on his side. It's all to bring them all this food and weapons, but who knows?
They also,
there's something going on
at the
obviously.
very end. He smiles, and I feel like it's Gabriel's there, and he's with these people, and he's kind of like recruited them for this war against Negan. Well, which I love the story he told, the Rock in the Road, and how this is their strategy to deal with Negan. Like, why? And it's great. It makes perfect sense. Why leave this annoying thing there when there's probably a reward for taking it out? Let's take him out. I don't think Negan's going to die anytime soon. Although they could just do fucking swerve and kill him.
No, they're not going to kill him.
I don't
They're
think
going to have him as a prisoner, just like in the comic books.
Yeah, so we didn't see any saviors or any Negan in this episode, which is fine because he wanted to see the group. I like seeing the group back together.
I think Negan is more of an ominous figure when he's not there.
I agree. Just like when you talk about him and the idea of him. So
I like the aspect of him just being on the like you hear him on the walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Like, get those fucking bastards.
Oh yeah, we did hear him. He was giving a speech about.
Then he was like, he was like giving a eulogy for the fat guy that died, and then he was like,
Joe was great. That was great.
He was like, did Daryl crawl back to his hole? Go check on him.
Go get him. So smart move by Rick to leave Daryl at the Kingdom because they show up and that's when they find out. Hey, where the fuck did all our food go? Where's Gabriel? What's going on here? And chase him. But that guy Simon, he's a great dick. Big smile.
You know why that guy's a great dick?
Yeah.
He's just doing an impression of Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yeah.
He really is.
He's like Negan Light.
He was the
He's
guy.
really just doing the same shit.
He's the guy who was in Grand Theft Auto, right?
Was he?
I think he's in GTA. Yeah. So look, a war is coming. The question is, how soon are we going to get to this war? Are they gonna string us along for a couple of filler episodes?
Here's what you got to do, which I'm skeptical they'll do. The typical Walking Dead is they'll do a fucking decompression episode where you hang out with like Carol for like
because we didn't really see a lot of what she was doing.
But what they should do is they should just fucking pick up where they left off and have Rick like negotiate his way out of this situation and convert this crew over to his side and start building his fucking army. Because that's what everyone wants to see.
I hope that's where it starts. Oh, I bet the next episode will not start. You don't think it's going to start where this one ended? That's how they jerk us around.
They should. I think they will, but I wouldn't be surprised if we fucking get another decompression episode and we're hanging out with Enid or some shit.
Yeah, they can't do that anymore. They gotta put that shit out. They really can't do that.
We got a flashback episode with fucking Enid. Like, oh my god, it's
gonna be.
I would blow my brains out.
Enid's origin story. You don't want to see that? Let's find out what she had
I don't want
lunch.
to see that. I don't want to see it, or like a Gabriel origin. No, I don't want to see this.
Well, you know what? I think your Carol thing is probably right because we haven't been shown what she was just like in the woods and
she's living at that house and
she's in that house outdoors.
The kingdom.
Yeah.
We don't need to know that. Or if you're going to do that, splice it in the middle of an episode that shit's going on. You don't need to do the whole
Keep it moving. I love seeing all the different places, following the group to these different locations, and give us a little Walking Dead action. But somehow they're going to look. I love that the people came to them after, like, at the hilltop, after they talked to Gregory. They're like, we want to fight. And then, he's got Daryl and the guard in the kingdom. They can convince them. I can't wait to see how
there's a bunch of groups. You got this new group. If they're not the Oceanside people, there's a new group.
Yeah,
then
I don't know who this is. Yeah.
Then you got the Kingdom. Then you got the Hilltop, and then you got Alexandria. That's a lot of people.
And the Kingdom has weapons, right? They got guns and shit. That's what they need.
They do. They're training.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some cool scenes of showing more of the Kingdom with all the they're growing food and they're training their kids and their adults and archery. It's kind of fun.
Rick should just challenge Ezekiel to trial by combat and take over the kingdom.
No, Maggie needs to just fucking kill Gregory and take over the hilltop. He's
that too.
Fucking useless.
Happening.
Yeah. But I love Ezekiel. I love Ezekiel at the tiger. I don't care. It's over the top. It's wacky. But it kind of works because now that we know that he's doing a voice, that I love that we got his origin story kind of right away.
Yeah, well, at least we're in on the joke.
Yeah,
somewhat. It would be, it'd be like Rugboy talking to that guy that we had from the Wally-Wood episode. Like,
J.D. Spurlock and Rugboy interview.
That wouldn't work. Oh, no. That shit wouldn't work.
It's two opposite things. So good coming back. Walking Dead, keep it up. And I just don't want another cliffhanger like last season at the end of this season where like the war is just about to start and that's it. They don't even get to the good stuff.
If they do that, it's over. This show might not be reviewed anymore.
The most very not decompressed.
Good you know what you got to do? Yeah. They gotta have the war happen way earlier than the last. Like the war's got to start pretty soon. There's no like. The momentum's already there for a war right now.
Yeah.
They can't have it. They can't have it string it out till the end.
This needs to be an action show now. Like they've strung us along for seasons and seasons of talking and moping about. Now you got a real legitimate bad guy with a legitimate army of people, and this thing could go on for days and weeks or whatever. And there's multiple attacks that could be made, multiple plans and things like that, alliances. There's a lot of shit going on here, and for them to sideline it for like a decompressed episode on Enid, like Anthony said, would fucking make me so pissed, and I'm like, it would turn me off of the show, right there.
Yeah, they did this one. They did a good job at kind of giving you what you wanted after the first half, but man, I don't know if they're over their shenanigans. Just look at their track record. They don't care. They will still fucking troll you.
They'll milk it.
They will milk it. But a lot of great things set up. A lot of potential, like you guys said. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Anybody?
It's a good setup episode. Let's see how far they fuck up.
Inevitably, we're going to get a slow decompressed. Here's what Enid had for lunch the day the zombie outbreak happened.
It'll just be her growing strawberries. And then finally the strawberry will be ripe enough to eat. And then Negan will come and step on.
Negan comes and cuts the
And you'll learn that her name backwards is Dine, and that's why she's just so obsessed with food.
Well, there's still other...
She's the caregiver of the community. She just makes sure everyone dines.
Yeah.
I like the king reading Martin Luther King's speech. I thought that was interesting. It was like a bedtime story.
Did you know that Sasha is going to be the new Star Trek captain?
Oh, in the new series, right? She got cast as the captain of the... So is she going to have to go? Or what?
I'm just saying, it's food for thought.
Yeah. And,
does she want to be on Walking Dead, or does she want to be the new captain?
And there's still, those rumors of Chandler Riggs. Like, he's getting old. Like, what are his plans going to be? What does Kirkman have in store for something he didn't really, in the book, you could keep him a kid and it works. Do you make him the next Rick Grimes because he's growing old so quickly? Or do you just kill him off and move on?
I don't know.
You just write him as a...
Why do you have to kill him off? Why
adult.
Him getting old? What does that mean?
No, there was that whole thing about him going to college. He wanted to... he enrolled, and all these rumors went flying back and forth. He hates babies.
He does. He hates acting with babies. That was the big headline in Bleeding Cool.
Stupid Judith. Well, the baby's not a baby. She's like a toddler now. Judith's growing up. Just swap out the baby, I guess.
Everyone grows exponentially, even though the timeline of the story doesn't grow at all.
Yeah,
Carl's like 15 years old. But the story's only about a few. And Jesus is gay.
Yeah. That's another thing I just...
Is it?
In the show? Yeah, he was. He was talking to this that dude, right?
No, that was curly-haired guy.
That was Aaron?
White guy with kinky hair.
No, I think Robert Kirkman himself said it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was on some... I read it somewhere. Look it up, dude. Google it.
Good for him.
I want to see more with I think Jesus could be a much more interesting character.
Yeah, Jesus is a great character.
I'm saying he could be better. I don't think they've actually utilized him all that well.
It is interesting how he's like just doesn't want to step up and take over for Gregory and kind of stays that. He's like, I just want to be moving. I want to be out there. I can't stay one place.
All right.
Good stuff. Let's hope it leads to an all-out war Walking Dead. Give it to us. That's all we got, guys. Just want to say subscribe to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Visit jockandnerd.com/review. It'll take you to our iTunes page. Click that subscribe button. It helps us get more exposure. It helps us expose ourselves to iTunes. So then see our big junk. Get our junk on iTunes. Subscribe, rate, review. Ruggs, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugboy. So drop me a line, motherfuckers.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening. We're going to go out and enjoy this scary, warm day in February. This is not right. And try to see...
I'm going to enjoy the nuclear summer.
I'm about to enjoy the nuclear winter that we are living through. This has been the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock.
He's the nerd. You forget what you're going to say there?
Tell a friend, spread the show. I don't know what's going on. Peace out. We'll hear you next time. Jock and Nerd. Wait, I forgot if I was the jock or the nerd.
Is that what happened?
I don't know what happened. I'm distracted by the bright weather, the nice weather outside.
The bright weather.
All right, let me ask you a question. I'll figure out if you're the jock or the nerd.
Okay.
Do you have abs?
Technically, everyone has ab muscles.
Okay, so you're the nerd.
Okay, I'm the nerd. Thanks for thanks for clearing that up. I blanked for a second.
You're welcome.
Which one am I? Oh, fuck.